Good evening, race fans. It is a Tuesday night here in Australia, and that of course means it is time once again for the Alliance Sim Racing V8 Supercars series. This is season 2, this is round 6, and we find ourselves at the beautiful Autodromo del Mugello in Scaperia e San Piero, Italy. And I'm going to apologise in advance for any of our fans watching from Italy tonight because I probably butchered every single part of your language right there. My name is Jared Cole. I am here on behalf of Simple Racing Broadcasts to bring to you tonight, as always, all of the action here from Alliance Sim Racing's amazing V8 series. The drivers tonight ready to tackle the twists, turns, ups and downs of what is one of the most challenging circuits in terms of changing driving conditions that I think I've seen in a long time. I'm joined, of course, tonight by my friend Dean Biggles Hopton. Biggles, welcome back to the booth, mate. How are you?
Good evening, grazie. I was going to say tabien, but that's Espanol. But I'm fantastic. Fantastical. There you go.
Fantastical.
A bit of Italian racing at the Ferrari's home track, test track.
It is indeed, but none of the prancing horse here tonight. Instead, the ground shaken by the monsters, the V8s. We are back once again this week. I tell you what, we're just past the halfway point in the season, and mate, it is heating up, is it not?
Well, it is. We've got a few drivers, of course, with some race wins up their sleeves there. Matt van der Graan's got a 2 to his name. Travis Hunt's got 2 to his name. Christopher Barrage's got 2 to his name. So the other drivers have 1 or so wins, and a lot of them have finished in the more important top 5 and top 10 positions, because it's not how you finish, but how you finish first, but how you finish at the end. So I've seen drivers in championships before, Jared, that haven't even won a single race, and yet they won the world championship. So
consistency, as always, is the name of the game. Absolutely. And look, I think that really demonstrates just not only the variety of talent that we've got here, but also just how closely matched all the drivers are. There is no one driver that's standing out in this season as the one to beat who's just winning every race, is there? It's being distributed actually fairly evenly across a few drivers, those wins, and so it's kind of hard to say just what to expect from the second half of the season and who's going to be crowned our ultimate champion here. There's a long way to go.
Matty's you'd have to say one of the Mr. Reliable.
Oh, absolutely, Matt van der Graan,
and
for
Stephen,
sure.
yeah, because he's had 9 starts, he's had 2 race wins, he's finished in the top 5 8 times, and he's finished in the top 10 9 times. So the man's guaranteed to finish inside the top 10 based on statistics. And followed closely by Stephen Varga there, who's started 9 times as well too. 1 wet race win, but also equal 8 times in the top 5, and then 8 times in the top 10. And the rest of the field, they start splitting it down about 50-50s after that.
Yeah, there's quite a mix, Let's come back to the championship in just a second. Let's talk about the track tonight. As always, beautiful clear conditions for us this evening. Track temps looking pretty good, 20 degrees on the track itself, so the tyres will thank us once again this week, I am sure. A 5 kilometre lap here at Mugello. And I don't know about you, Biggles, but I can't think of another track that has the variety of elevation changes that Mugello does. There's certainly tracks out there with more elevation top to bottom, but this place is a roller coaster.
Brazil?
Oh, yeah, that'd be close, wouldn't it?
Interlagos?
That'd be close.
Yeah, Interlagos, I'd have to say. Probably more elevation changes in Interlagos. And this is it's more high speed with a long straight.
Long straight, absolutely.
And then a couple of short straights as you currently see out of turn 3 before you go to turn 4 and 5 and so forth. So, and then you got long sweeping corners, which are big test to your suspension and the way you set your car up, which won't allow too many overtaking opportunities. So that's very Italian of it, isn't it? Reminding you of the first Lesmo, second Lesmo, and Curva Grande. And then, of course, you've got the hairpin at Corvette, I think it is, before you get into the final hairpin, which you want to set up for a good exit to get a run into turn 1. Overtaking opportunity is key right there as well.
I'll tell you what, the braking is where it's all to be done turn 1. You think about how long this straight is, and now put yourself behind the wheel of a V8 supercar and trying to pull up what is one of the heaviest racing cars I think we've got on the service outside of the off-roaders. It's going to test drive us to the absolute limit, trying to push it into turn 1 here tonight. So plenty to look at. Let's take a look though, before we get too excited, before we check out the qualifying action that's happening right now. Let's talk about the championship, where things stand at the moment. So Matt van der Kraan continues to hold first place this week on 1,589 points, but Steven Varga not far behind, 1,570. The top 6 otherwise very much unchanged over the last couple of weeks. So Trav Hunt still sitting in third with Chris Burridge, Trav Daly and Rick Vigar all in the hunt still. Troy Sipple making a little move up. He's up 1 spot into 7th, as is Peter Latham up 1 into 8th. And then Gary Buckland certainly putting in a great showing last week, up 3 spots into 9th, so sneaks himself into the top 10, with Damon Fisher just hanging on to his 10th position there. It's a little bit of movement, but there's not a lot to separate them, really, is there, Biggles?
Yeah, gas up. Gary Buckland, of course, so big changes there. Well, as the points start spreading out, you're looking at a gap of total points for our race leader. Championship leader, 1,005, nearly 1,900. 1,590, I mean. And then you go back to Gazza, you're talking about 1,368. So it's push comes to shove at the moment. It's really about those top 3 or 4 or so drivers, maybe the top 5, can really just got to get strong results to wrap up the season here and grab the trophy, my friend. Reach up the shelf there, grab it, and put that on your trophy cabinet at home.
And let's take a brief look a little further back through the field, as we see Scott Perrins just outside the top 10 there. He's up 2 spots though, so making his way up the ladder. Daniel Sheriff's dropped 1 last week into 12th. Peter Sattler up 1 into 13th. Then Dylan Sipple in 14th, up 2 positions. Matthew Stoyles, a bit of a shocker last week for him, unfortunately, down 8 positions into 15th. Then James Hardy, Anita Buckland, Phil Marsh and Simon Haynes all moving up 2 spots respectively for 16th through 19th. And Jason Dunn, again, a bit of a rough one for him last week, down 5 spots into 20th. So he'll be looking to improve on that this time around, I'm sure. And then a little bit further back through the field, Todd Martin down a few spots as well. Sean Van der Meulen holding pretty steady there in 22nd. And then a few up and down moves at the back end of the pack there, with Mark Peck and Joe Granshaw all sitting around the mid-20s. Michael Hayes there along with Chad Vigar. Reg James, Matt Wicks, and then Nick Hausler and Stephen Kennedy towards the back of the pack there. So look, there's quite a number of drivers who haven't competed in many further back in the field, but tonight we do have a bit of a wild card in the field, Biggles. A little bit of a stranger joining us this evening. Those of you who are fans of the V8 Supercars series on iRacing may have heard the name before. But we are joined tonight, the wildcard entry here at Mugello, none other than Scott Rankin himself. I'm expecting big things from him. No pressure, but
yeah,
it's going to be really interesting to see how he stacks up against the rest of the field here. It's a bloody pleasure to have him along, and we'll certainly keep an eye out for him as we make our way around this evening. We'll go to a bit of the qualifying action now as everyone starts to settle in and start to put some times together. But so far, it's been pretty reasonable in terms of what
you might want to jump on to Scotty to Scotty Rankin himself too. He's about to start will finish also a hot lap and start a lap. So here you go for the wanted goons for the Riot Sim Racing celebrity per se on a grid here this evening. Come on, Scotty, get it done. Show us how. Put a lap around the Italian track.
Let's take a look at Mugello and see what he's got to offer. So far, just under 4 minutes to go in our qualifying session. Matt van der Kraan still out in front. It's a familiar sight for him tonight. The pole position has been his in a number of races. While Scott makes his way around, though, let's talk about the format for this evening. Heat 1, 12 laps, so a full-on sprint. We do like those in the first race for the evening. And then our feature race tonight, 25 laps, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you've got to remember it's a very long lap here at Mugello, and 2 compulsory pit stops, as well as a reverse top 10 grid from race number 1. So it's gonna, like, strategy's gonna play a part here. 2 pit stops in those 25 laps is certainly going to challenge, I suspect, a few of these drivers to bring their best. And we've certainly seen strategy play its part already this season.
It always will, my friend. Also practice those pit stops, making sure you get them absolutely perfect. And when to box and safety car as well. We don't know how that situation can pan itself out. It can come any time, thick and fast, and throw some of the driver's strategies completely out the wall. Even make Toto Wolff throw his headphones across the garage.
Hey, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty keen to see this. Mugello's not a track that I'm familiar with. I've not spent any time on it myself, so I'm looking forward to hopefully grabbing a driver or two tonight to come and have a chat to us about how their experience has been with it this evening. But we'll just have to wait and see who's around as we see Scott crosses the line. And look, not a bad first showing. Not a bad first showing at all. Straight up into P6 at 148.8. So he's just letting everyone know he's here tonight, and he's gonna make some moves on it. So we'll have to wait and see what it brings. If we take a look,
he could be a big spat in the mix, couldn't he? With
it could be
the likes of the championship battle at the top of the championship hunt there. So that would be interesting if Scotty was to deny some race wins, but he's got to catch Matt up the road there, who's got a half a second gap currently over Damon, the Shark Man himself.
Absolutely. Now, Reg James just pulling into the pits. I do owe Reg an apology. I owe Reg an apology, and here's why. One, because we couldn't get a decent shot of his car through the wall. But two, last week we were talking about that livery, and I called it Cheeky Buns. And I want to apologise officially to Reg James. It's Chubby Buns. They make great bloody burgers, and I got the name wrong. And it's been weighing on my shoulders since last week, Biggles. And I had to put it out there straight away because I want to clear the air there. I don't want to.
What burger?
Chubby Buns. Chubby Buns, my friend.
Where are they?
They are down south. They're not here in Queensland, unless they're hiding and I'm not aware of them. I just want to call out Scott Rankin on an absolute flyer right now compared to his last lap. So he's looking to move even further up. But
he's playing with his food, Scotty.
He doesn't.
I tell you not
mind.
to start playing with your food.
Doesn't mind. He's certainly putting in the effort to improve on a P6, which you think you'd be happy with, but that wouldn't make you a racing driver, would it?
P1 you'd be happy
with.
It's
P1 or nothing. P1 or bust.
All right, you driven a Ferrari just yesterday, my friend. You know.
I don't know if what I was doing was. I don't know what I was doing would be called driving, but I was behind the wheel. As Scott doesn't manage to improve on his best lap that time around, just a tad slower, but very, very consistent. So we'll leave these guys to finish up just the last 10 seconds or so of qualifying. And we will just have to give it a moment.
Scotty out on track at the moment. I think everybody's parked.
Yeah, everyone else has parked it up. And so we'll be just about ready as we wait for Barney to end the session for us. It is indeed time for us to take a look at the grid. This is round 6 all of a sudden. I don't really know how we got here so quick, frankly. It's,
well, we went to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Well, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah,
you've got it
in a very fast manner, no doubt. Just like
Matt van der Kraan, P1 as always, alongside Damon Fisher, Trav Hunt, Daniel Sheriffs, then Trav Daly and Scott Rankin. P6, so he's making himself felt early on. Gary Buckland up in P7 and Stephen Varga alongside him, so a little bit further back for Vargas tonight than we usually see. Jamie McKnight is back tonight for the first time in weeks, so good to see him back on the grid, and P9 for him alongside Darren Crosby in P10. Sean Vandermillen putting in a great showing to take P11 alongside Peter Sattler. Then Peter Latham and Troy Sipple just lead out the other QPR entries of Mark Peck, Scott Perrins behind him. The Granny Spec Racing entry, James Hardy in P16, and Reg James, of course. Chubby Buns is right there. Dane Nothurf, the safety first car, looking pretty nice tonight, I must say, alongside Philip Marsh. Then Craig Rose and Joseph Granshaw, Anita Buckland and Nick Hausler back in 24th, and Todd Martin, Dylan Sipple, and Matt Wicks with Michael Hayes rounding out at the back end of the field this evening. I tell you what, it's going to be a good one. I have absolutely no doubt as we wait for the drivers to get booted up. We will we'll just wait and see what's in store for us this evening. But the starter, I'm sure we are not far away at all from getting this race underway as the last of the drivers do start to make their way to the grid. It only takes a couple of minutes, of course, and these guys will all be keen to get it underway. Now, who are you keeping your eye on tonight? I'm certainly watching Scott Rankin.
Yeah.
We want to see what he brings to the party.
It's also 20 degrees. Track's going to be a little bit cool at the moment. So we're in the 9:21 local time on the race. About 2 kilometre headwinds. So I'm not quite sure they're going to do too much of damage in these heavy cars at the moment. I was going to say trucks. Also, Fords are looking dominant, my friend. All of them, apart from 2 Holdens.
They are. A lot of Mustangs in the field tonight. It'll be interesting to see what the mix is when we do get into the Gen 3 supercars, which hopefully are not too far away. iRacing just teasing us for the last little while. As we wait
these
for the
drivers
last
are teasing
to
us,
settle.
so
I
load
know.
onto the grids.
They're ready to go.
Scott
We're
Bartine
ready to
and
go.
Nick, what are you waiting on?
We're waiting on Scotty Bartine. That's got to be the safety car, though. Nick Hausler, the last to... he's not gridding up. Here we go. We're under starters' orders. Lights on. And we are away. It's the 12-lap sprint tonight. Race 6 of the V8 Supercars series here in Mugello. Cleanly off the line tonight. But here we go, down to turn 1. Let's see how messy this gets. And they make their way in. So far, so good. A little bit of on front. Daniel Sheriffs, and there it is. QPR car is a...
Oh, Stephen Varga as well.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough. Hopefully he can recover quickly as the rest of the pack starts to just sort itself out. And sure enough, we have a safety car. No?
That was a lot here.
I retract that, sorry. No.
Troy,
I was worried for a moment we were getting a safety car, but no, that's an error on this end. We're okay. We're still underway.
Yeah, so Troy's involved. Troy Sipple is involved in that one. Darren Crosby was involved in that one. Philip Marshall was involved in that one. Vargsy was involved in that one. Peter Sattler was involved in that one. So
a lot of drivers. We'll go back and take a look in just a moment, but let's let them get sorted out. Matt Vanderkraan, as usual, lap 1 likes to just really stamp a bit of authority on the place, doesn't he? Opens up a second gap before we even get to the end of the first lap.
You break the slipstream with everybody else, and you explore the track limits. If you make a little bit of a mistake, you've got a tiny gap. That's very crucial there for Matty to dominate and control this race. He's got to push the rest of the field into mistakes, being so quick. That's what he does.
He's the thing, right? When you get to this level of driver, what you're looking at here is guys that know exactly how this car will handle at every stage of the race, including on stone cold tyres on lap 1. And the performance levels they're able to extract from this. I think we spoke about this last time around, actually. I was so excited with the lap time that I was putting in, and I was still 8 seconds off the back of the slowest in the pack during practice. The speed that these guys carry is just phenomenal. It really is.
James Hardy and Stephen Varga are heading to pit road, probably to either consume look at that damage that they had suffered there.
Any repairs to be done after lap 1? Yeah, absolutely. Sure. On that note, let's go back and let's see if we can take a bit of a look at what's happened here. So yeah, just all sorts of calamity. The Granny Spec entry involved as well. It's been a rough one.
It puts both the Travies in good positions. We got Travis Hunt and Travis Daly. So they've made their positions at P2 and P3 to try to hunt down Matt van der Kraan. That's in a bit of a nice gap at the moment, almost 2 seconds of change. The hot zone, he threw a blanket over, isn't that midfield with Dylan, Joseph, Red Gents. So 15, 16 for 17. It looks like Joseph runs a little bit wide to allow Dylan to come back into the field there. But that's where it is. And then, of course, behind Travis Hunt, there is a gaggle of cars within half a second there, Jared.
A huge number of them having issues with our picture-in-picture tonight as well, it seems. But let's keep an eye on this group here. This is P3 that we're keeping an eye on here. This is Trav Daly leading out Damon Fisher, but right behind Gary Buckland, Scott Rankin, and Jamie McKnight. So Rankin and McKnight the ones to watch here, I reckon, as they just find their feet in amongst this field. But this pack, as always, close together. Taking a look, here goes Trav Daly past Trav Hunt. Can he hold it as we come down the start-finish line? They are side by side down to turn 1. It is a long way down to turn 1. But they remain evenly matched, trying to take advantage of maybe a little bit of side draft even. I don't know, but it does look like, as we get under brakes here, Trav Hunt might just have the better line, but Trav Daly still pushing hard around the outside. He's just got to avoid those few marbles that have already started to form on the track, up over the curbs, and he continues to battle hard for this position. He's not ready to let it go just yet. A little bit of contact there, maybe, as Trav Hunt goes back the other way. And here we go again. Trav Daly just cementing that spot. That's P2 for him, and Trav Hunt will be just planning his revenge, I'm sure. Plotting even at this point.
You know, argy-bargy, yeah, door banging. That's what you have to be doing to get some O-takes around here. So that's good to see.
It's V8 Supercars,
nice,
isn't it? It's V8 Supercars, absolutely. Let's take a look a little bit further back in the pack. I want to go back to P12. Dane Nothdurft is holding off a few of our regular fast finishers. We've got Scott Perrins, Reg James, Sean Vandermeulen in behind him at the moment. So he's feeling probably a little bit of pressure as we see Vandermeulen taking a big look up the inside, but not quite enough under brakes to make a move. But he's keen to make a bit of progress, though, isn't he?
So, Brad Daly out there, be keen for Travis Daly to try to catch up the road there with Matt van der Kraan. G'day, Brad. Evening to you. Looking forward to another great race.
Brad, good to see you back, my friend. Michael Hayes copying himself a drive-through penalty. Number 187 Race Control has just issued the black flag there, so he'll be going through to serve that, I'm sure, in the next lap or so. Sean Vandermeulen, meanwhile, big brake lock up just ahead from Daniel Sheriffs. That's going to give Dane Nothdurft a bit of an opportunity to close that gap as well, but Vandermeulen not content to let him go. Here's the long straight. Let's see what he can do with just a little bit of slipstream assistance. Starting to close that up. Now, does Dane stay? Yes, Dane stays defensive. And so Vandermeulen is forced to the outside, but he's laid under brakes, and he's going to make that move very, very cleanly. Sean Vandermeulen through to P12. An awesome move from him. Very well timed. Just needs to hold it together now.
Yeah, get the job done. He's got a bit of breathing space because there's a gaggle of cars behind him that are looking to attack Dane Nothdurft, Scott Perrins. Let's have a look at still further up at the moment. Damon Fisher's on the back there of both the Travises. Somebody gets a little bit wide. Scott Rankin, P6. Gary Buckland, P5. Old mate and sons for the motorsports. He's up 2 places for the number 9 machine.
It's all happening up the front of the field still, which is, let's face it, not surprising. There's a lot going on. Let's take the main view up there and keep an eye on Trav Daly, who's managing to hold off now. Jamie McKnight, Scott Rankin, just trading places there a little. Rankin's dropped back in behind Jamie McKnight. These guys, look, you wouldn't even realise they hadn't been in the field so far this season. Jamie McKnight, I think, was here for race 1 and unfortunately hasn't been able to make an appearance since. But straight back into it like he was never gone at this stage. Just comfortably
it's like riding a
P6.
bike, mate.
Yeah, that's what they tell me. That's what they tell me.
Until, I think it's the cars change, don't they? The tracks change a little bit too. iRacing, the cars change, you got to adjust. He has adjusted quite well.
Absolutely, he has. And, the next big change, Gen 3 Supercars. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm not getting excited until we have an actual release date for those.
I've been excited about wet weather racing and iRacing for a very long time. It's here, and then I haven't been doing many of them since.
And look,
The leagues just haven't been doing racing.
I think these
in
guys
wet weather.
just quietly might be a little bit happy with that decision from iRacing to not actually enable supercars.
You've been bugging them for so long for wet weather, and you get it, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't want to do it.
Craig Rose, Joseph Granshaw. Joseph Granshaw up the inside. Craig Rose stays wide. Does he have the run from that slightly modified line he's had to take? He doesn't. And so Joseph Granshaw moving on through while Craig Rose has to try and recover from being pushed just a little bit wide on that one. We'll take a look again. Dane Noster starting to open up a little, but Sean Vandermeulen now just pulling away in front of him. He's got the pace tonight. It's good to see.
Just tonight?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he always does, but Vandermeulen's he's not had probably the season he'd want so far. He's certainly threatened with a lot of fast laps, but he seems to have ended up with just a couple of incidents along the way that have held him a little bit further back in the pack in terms of finishing results. So good to see him, getting the moves done. He's up into 12th. As we look just ahead of this group, here's Peter Latham coming through on other way around. Yes, Peter Latham through on Peter Sattler. The two Peters getting me all sorts of tongue-tied tonight. It's a less than optimal
a couple
line.
of Travises there. Get a couple of Peters,
right.
a couple of Travises.
Yeah, it keeps us on our toes at least. We never get bored. But Peter Latham just making that move through. He's up into P8 and looking to close out some decent points for himself there as well. This straight, I tell you what, it is one of the few straights, maybe Conrod, where you get close to actually topping out these V8s. As we see Trav Hunt looking to make a move. Oh, bit of contact. He's putting everything into that. Those rear tyres just cannot handle the amount of power that he's asking for. And ultimately, still finds himself behind Trav Daly. And I think all he's achieved there for the moment is Damon Fisher getting onto the back of this. We'll call it a train. Why not? It's not quite a train we're used to seeing with 6 or 7 cars, but the 3 of them, with Damon Fisher amongst it, just continuing to push on. Matt Vanderkraan, can we just call out 4.5 seconds out in front right now? This is the halfway point of this 12-lap sprint. 6 laps in, he's put on. I mean, we've got to call that coming close to a second a lap on these guys. That's phenomenal. That really is. The guy is just next level. If you're
but they're going to have to add a couple of kilos to his car for a handicap in the next race. You're going to be doing that quick. I mean,
I do just want to whisper that in the ears of the organisers.
From Travi.
Just maybe consider some weight handicap for some of these guys next season. I don't know. No, it's good to see.
Just put him in a Ferrari. Oh,
well,
too soon.
Yeah. Let's not talk about my racing attempts last night in too much detail this evening, because they pale in comparison to the group of drivers we have here on track tonight. Trav Daly, Trav Hunt and Damon Fisher continuing to make their way around, but off in the distance, you might just see it off to the very left of the screen, Matt Vanderkraan already up over the hill as these guys cross the start-finish line, 5 seconds out in front. And here goes Trav Hunt. Makes the move, but does not have the inside line.
A lot later on that one.
Yeah, he's ended up a lot wider than I think he was hoping for. And again, just shifting around. It's right on the limits of grip, that car. Peter Sattler and Peter Latham still going at it. Sattler's through. Latham didn't get the drive there out of turn 1, and Sattler's reclaimed P8 from him.
Yep, that's getting the job done. Craig Rose Jedi has made a little bit of a mistake later on, but he's running back in P19. Still the hot zone.
Craig Rose has had an incident.
Look at this one. Yeah.
Oh, he's just overcooked it a bit. Nothing to it. Has kept it off the walls. That's what you like to see. Straight back into it. And he'll be looking to make up that ground very quickly, I am sure. As we continue to keep our eyes here, Peter Sattler pulling away now from Peter Latham. So I'm not sure if Latham's had a bit of, I don't know, maybe he's just overcooked the tyres a little and hasn't got the pace until they do come down in temp a little. But just behind, Daniel Sheriffs and Mark Peck. Now, just trying to sort themselves out here for P10. Pecky just doing his best to hold off Daniel Sheriffs, who he knows got the pace, and he starts to close it up a bit. He'll be looking to make a move down that main straight, I am sure. have a look at the mountains in the back of Mugello. Like, if there wasn't such a great race on, you could sit here and just take that in all night. It's
if you've got time to take your eyes off the track and actually have a look at them, then you're going to be in the defence.
Yeah,
but
there is that.
I love it. In this racing league, I do love how the drivers had their nicknames there on the racing rear wing or on the car. Somebody, you got Peggy, of course. You got Travis,
Bugs, of course, getting around.
Bugs, I'm Paul Bugs at the moment running P22, mate. After his first corner incident, or second or third corner incident. So
keep an eye on
he's got to be a lot of work to do and just to be thinking about the next race.
Buckland, McKnight, and Rankin all close together here. Let's keep an eye on this. Because Buckland is threatening. Oh, he's made contact there. Can he straighten McKnight up? He can, and does. I don't know if it's intentional, but well done.
They lifted to say my bad.
Yeah, yep. And again, we've said this before. The camaraderie between these guys in this league is something that there's a whole lot of iRacers out there.
Think about that one, Scotty!
There
and Gary Buckland here. You want camaraderie, my friend? You've got it here, heating up.
But these guys, they race friendly. They race fair, but geez, they race hard. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but it is... Let me fight a little bit more for that one. Don't let Scotty through like that. It's a foreign... he's an invitation, of course, into this league. And
look, he's just making the most of it. You can't argue. You can't argue. Scott Rankin up into P6, so making him move further on. Matt Vanderkrant still out in front by 5.5 seconds. Let's just check in with him and see where he's at. He is all alone out here. No, we won't pull him in now.
Wow.
I'm bad enough putting commentator curses on people without that happening, mate. So let's leave him to it. I'm sure we'll be catching him in the post race at this rate, because we are now about to hit lap 9, and no one looks like they can touch Matt Vanderkrant right now. So he short of a pretty epic mistake. He's going to be starting from P10 in our reverse top 10 for race number 2 tonight. But just behind, Damon Fisher having a big think about putting the move on Trav Hunt. Not quite there for it yet, but these three continue. They've swapped positions a few times here, but the three of them still maintaining a good gap over Jamie McKnight back in P5. So it doesn't seem to be hurting their pace too much.
Daniel Sheriffs and Mark Peck is also doing a little bit of a switcheroo. Daniel down 6 places at the moment. He's trying to hold off Mark so he doesn't lose another one and stick to that 52 Holden machine holding on. But further up, there's still that battle that's still continuing behind the 77 M1 Racing driver, because nobody knows where Matt... Oh, that's right. Matt Vanderkrant's already in Monza.
Yeah, he's already he's ready for the next one, absolutely.
He's sitting at the pizza joint there, sitting back, relaxing, already going, come on, guys, finish the race, all right? We only got about a minute and change to go.
Keep an eye on those three on our secondary monitors, but let's take a look here. This is the battle for P5 now. Jamie McKnight just trying to hold off Scott Rankin, who's recovered from barely avoiding McKnight and Buckland coming together. But these three continuing with Peter Sattler now, just having a look from in the background. He's looked after those tyres pretty nicely and seems to have just enough pace to have picked up and latched onto the back now of Gary Buckland. Jamie McKnight and Scott Rankin, look, they're threatening to pull away, but they don't quite have the pace that they need to open up the gap.
Side by side, crossing the line at the moment. There's the battle of the Travises, my friend.
Jump up front. So here we go, Trav Hunt, Trav Daly, side by side. Again, Trav Daly on the inside line forces Trav Hunt to stay wide. And he's getting very loose. He's out into the rubber there. And again, it's cost him drive out of that corner. He just can't catch a break. Coming in, big slide. He is trying everything he can to get that car moving. Damon Fisher looking, sniffing for a way through as Trav Hunt tries desperately to get the power to the ground to stay on the back of Trav Daly here. The battle for P2, very, very hot. 3 laps to go. Still plenty of work to do for all three of these drivers and the rest of the field behind them, for that matter.
Fisher needs to throw a line out at the moment, hook them both. There you go, the shark.
He does, he absolutely does.
Damon Fisher.
Daniel Sheriffs.
He's
sorry, we're just jumping back. Daniel Sheriffs, what's happened? Huge slide. Huge
No flash spots
slide
on those
there.
tyres,
And
my friend.
another from
Oh!
Sean Vandermeer just behind, lucky not to come together.
Yeah.
That was massive. Let's go back and let's see if we can...
That's a full flat stop tyres as well, too, especially sliding him on the side. What's happened here? But then we go back and look.
Let's have a look. Is it just a massive lock-up into turn 1?
That's from pretty far back to lock it up like that because it's a heavy braking
Oh,
zone.
snap
Yeah.
oversteer under brakes. And I wonder if
And
Vandermeer has
then
done exactly the
almost
same.
sympathy spin.
Almost.
That means, once again, he probably was using the other car as a racing line. And we've seen that before, haven't you? When you're following a car, you end up just, your head just
Drawn
goes,
in behind
okay, I'm
him
following
just a
the
little,
car,
don't
and
you?
you're braking when they're braking, and then, oops, they make a mistake, you make a mistake. Professional drivers do it all the time. It's just a natural thing that we do as humans. Like, we, unfortunately, and as Travis Hunt's going to go for the
Taking
battle of the
another
Travies
look.
again.
Going for the same move. Trav Daly
It's a
continues to
switcheroo.
defend.
Can't do it here.
Yeah, it just can't quite find the pace of the line. Daly's doing a fantastic job of defending into turn 1 there. You know what? I don't want to preempt this as Trav Hunt again. Just the amount of power he's putting through those rear wheels. Those tyres are going to be cooked with only a couple laps to go here. I reckon. You know, I like to get a little bit ambitious with my calls. I reckon we're going to see Trav Hunt as we come down to turn 1 here. He's been going outside every single time with Trav Daly going defensive. I reckon he might actually try and sneak it up the inside of Daly.
Do you reckon risking it for the biscuit on heat 1? I mean,
Daly's not far enough over that he couldn't give it a shot up the inside. He's still leaving quite a bit of room. It's gonna compromise his entry massively, but it might be the only way to force Daly out wide and to actually get past, because Hunt's got plenty of pace. He just can't quite get around the outside in turn 1. There's just not enough in it.
I don't know if you've ever seen Mr. Travis Hunt's racing videos before, but he'll show foot cam and stuff like that too. So you'll be able to see what he can do with the pedals. Of course, it will never be live. Well, even if it is live, it's going to be delayed compared to what you can have. But it give you an idea of what you're going to do for your pedal control.
It's a lot going on. We're on board now with Trav Hunt. So I do want to, I'm going to hold this because let's see what he does down into turn 1 here. Stephen Kennedy in the chat. Good to see you here, Steve, and welcome along for another night of racing. Been a little while since we've seen you behind one of the wheels here. So he goes up the outside again. Is he going to make it stick this time, though?
Oh, he's going to set it on the outside. He's going to have to lift a little bit. Door banging currently at the moment. Got a left-hander coming up now.
He's on the inside for this one. This is what he's been trying to set up. It's not enough, though. Trav Daly just keeps pulling rabbits from... Oh, he's gone on the curbs. That's going to spin him. Contact there. Contact there. He's going to... There we go. He's going to give that one back.
Yeah.
Trav Daly's going to try desperately to spin it around and get moving.
They're going to hurry up because they're coming through thick and fast.
Here comes Dean McKnight. Yes, Scott Rankin coming through as well. Peter Gretton, good evening. Welcome to the stream. I tell you what, it's not just the top 3. And to be fair, what we've been watching before that little coming together is actually the second, third, and fourth place, because Matt Vanderkraan on the final lap, this is him out in front all on his own. And he's been sitting out there. He's now 8.5, almost 9 seconds out in front. So he'll be coming around in no time to collect victory here in race 1 tonight at Mugello. But I tell you what, that's a complete reordering of the podium that we've just seen.
You said it. You called it. You knew that it was going to be something.
That's not quite what I expected, though, at all, to be fair.
I just wonder if it was... I mean, it's racing drivers just risking it for the biscuit at that point. But then again, look at the places they've just both dropped. They're now 8th and 9th. They were 2nd and 3rd. But then again, race drivers are race drivers. Matty is certainly a race driver. He's going to be crossing the line, and he hadn't lost anything, but he's already got the fastest lap qualifying. He put that thing on pole. He's going to cross on a P1 and take heat 1.
Brilliant race, again, from Matt Vanderkraan. Well out in front as we see the rest of the drivers coming through to take the flag. Damon Fisher, all he had to do really was survive it. And he takes P2. Jamie McKnight looking for P3. We've got drivers going all over the place behind. As they all start to roll on through. Let's take a look at the results from race number 1 here this evening. wait for the results to load through.
We're still waiting for some more drivers to cross the line. That's the thing, mate. That's how far Matty's
It's ridiculous. It's so
taking
far
the
in front.
road. Yeah, we still got at least about from 18th down still to cross the line.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. We'll see if we can just get this loading up for us tonight. But it's there's such a gap there. That is something else.
Yep,
That is something else.
now, my friend. I think a few more cars will be gangling their way across there, like the likes of James Hardy, Philip Marshall, Matt Wicks, and Darren Crosby. I think will be running it out, and Anita Buckland a lap down. And yep.
Did have an earlier incident, Anita Buckland. While we're waiting for this to all happen, let's go back and take a look at Trav Daly and Trav Hunt coming together. Oh no, we've
You can't now, my friend, because we're just switched over to the next warm-up session.
We have. I'm too slow tonight. I'm too slow. Let's see if we can.
But you'll have your
this all sorted
results.
out.
I think in a second it should be coming up.
God, we're having all sorts of issues tonight. I'm sorry, folks. As we look to race 1 results, let's see if we've got them to talk about. Oh, here's the problem. We've got classes all switched around. We're going to have to read them out tonight, I think is going to be the way. Biggles, are you able to give us a hand with that, my friend?
Yeah, yep, I can, my friend. Let's just have a look at it on myself. So Matty has got it done, my friend. Matty Van der Kraan got the job done. Over the Shark, he finishes in P2. Damon Fisher, remember, he was hovering around P4 that whole time. Jamie McKnight, welcome back. Of course, in P3 there. Scott Ranklin, there you go. The old Scottster gets the P4 there. Gary Buckland, Peter Sattler there. Peter Latham, the Fossil, in P7 there. Travis Daly and Travis Hunt. We saw the incident before there. Sean, the old Seanster in P10. That'll round up your P10, my friend, if you want the rest of it all there.
No worries. We'll try and get that sorted now. But while we're doing that, let's bring Matt Van der Kraan in. Matt, you're back with us again, mate. Good to see you here this evening.
Hello, my old friend.
Lovely to be chatting to you again. It seems like it's all too regular an occurrence that we see you in race 1 with light behind you, mate. You've got the pace tonight yet again.
Story, reverse top 10. This is going to be fun.
I always look forward to it because we always know we're gonna see you push on through. What was the secret sauce tonight? What have you done with your setup that's brought it along with that kind of grip this evening?
Brand new PC today. Spent the whole day putting it all together, getting all the bits to work. I'm nearly there. I haven't quite got it all going, but I've got enough going.
Oh, he's running in direct. He's running DirectX version 2 and not much that quick review. Yeah. It's a good feeling, is that, to have a new PC, like new goods, is like getting a new engine or something like that in that car. But is that? Do you think that's giving you the extra motivation, mate? Just to give you like a 1 second a gap lead over everybody else per lap?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I got a bit lucky that there was a bit of chaos behind me and the boys fighting on. I'm sure their pace is quicker than what they showed in that first race. I was just lucky to be out in front of the boys battling and got away. So I'll take that and get ready for the battle in race 2.
Absolutely, and look, it's all to do in race 2 as always. Reverse top 10. So, mate, I know you've got a couple of minutes to go. I've got to ask again, as always, what's the strategy? What's the strategy for race 2? How is it that you're planning to get from P10 back up to P1?
Unless there's chaos in the early laps, you're expecting to see the car 180 in the pits pretty early. I think I've got to try and do it through strategy. It's going to be hard to overtake 9 cars around here. So, yeah, I'll give it a crack on the strategy.
It's going to box early then, maybe, perhaps.
Maybe.
What pit stop are you going to box on now? Because I don't think you could tell her. No, just whisper it to us. Nobody's watching. They are watching it.
There's a very good chance I'll pit after lap 1.
Ooh. Okay.
All right.
We'll have to wait and see. Matt Van der Kraan, we're going to leave you to it. Go get yourself ready for race number 2 in just a minute's time, my friend.
All right, thanks, boys. I hope to talk to you again. Cheers.
Fingers crossed. Get into it. Matt Van der Kraan, our winner from race number 1. And I'll tell you what, Biggles, that's not a bad outcome at all for him. Again, some really solid points for the first race of the evening.
What is bad, unfortunately, is that car 32, which is Travis Hunt, will actually get a 10-point post-race for the incident. that we just had before.
It's not
Which, I mean, race
surprising.
control's on top of that, but I don't know. I mean, that's one because to me, Travie lived. You know, I mean, he realized. I think he realized that they came together. Obviously, himself with other Travie, the Travis got together, and he just backed off, didn't he? And then just they both lost those positions together. So it's hey, race control team. What was race control? But to me, it's like, you know, he's dropped all those places anyway. To admit, to me, it looks like he admitted fault. So he's got a further punishment on top of that one. But hey. Race control, I've seen other things that perhaps we didn't see, so we'll take it into account. And it's good to have a live race control, so I appreciate that.
Absolutely. As we count down now, just a small moment before we're able to get ready for race number 2. The drivers, of course, just getting in a couple of last-minute warm-up laps if they can. Just practice some of those corners that may have been their undoing in race 1. So all to play for, as usual. As we start to get ready, we'll have to be quick as always because of course these guys do get underway very, very quickly in race number 2. Let's go to the grid here. Race number 2 this evening, round 6 at Mugello for the Alliance Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series, and this is how they're lining up for race 2. Sean Vandermeulen and Trav Hunt taking out 1 and 2 in the reverse top 10 here. Trav Daly and Peter Latham behind them, then Peter Sattler and Gary Buckland. I reckon Trav Daly and Trav Hunt the ones to watch here off the line. As we take a look, Scott Rankin and Jamie McKnight still in the top 10 with Damon Fisher, Matt Vanderkraan, race 1 winner just behind them. Then Dane Nothdurft finds himself in P11 alongside Mark Peck. As we take a look further back, Reg James and Daniel Sheriff's looking to grid up in 13th and 14th. Scotty Perrins and Troy Sipple, the teammates alongside each other, and Dylan Sipple, of course, Troy's son right behind as well, so the 3 QPR cars there, with Joseph Granshaw feeling probably a little outnumbered, I am sure. Then, more QPR, Stephen Varga, a lot of work to do here, P19, so he's got to really force his way back through. Craig Rose in P20 alongside, and Todd Martin, another QPR entry in 21 alongside James Hardy. Phil Marsh and Matt Wicks just behind them, and then Darren Crosby and Anita Buckland just ahead of Michael Hayes and Nick Hausler down the back end of the grid. As we get ready to go for race number 2, I'll tell you what, it always worries me if I see lights flashing in the lineup. I did see it there for just a moment. The concern is always for me, has someone left their pet limiter on?
We're waiting for Matt to load in. We're waiting for Matty's load in, waiting for Daniel to load in, and I think that should be it.
Daniel Sheriff's to come.
Keep an eye on those Travises. We're going to have a round 2 ding-ding of this Travis Hunt and Travis Daly. And, of course, Sean's going to be wanting to get away from them. He's like, okay, I heard what happened in race 1. Let's just see if we can get up the road there. And, of course, we're going to be keeping an eye out for Scott Rankin. But Matty climbing his way through the field. I reckon Matty'd be in P8 by the end of lap 1.
Oh, that's a big call. That's a big call, but let's keep an eye on it. So we get ready to go to starters' orders once again. 25 laps this time around, 2 compulsory pit stops, a reverse top 10 as always. Race number 2 for the evening, set to provide all of the entertainment we're looking for. As we go to starters' orders, the lights are up, the lights are on, and we are away. Race number 2 underway, of course. Bit of a slow start off the back end for the Granny Spec Racing entry, but up in front. And here we go down into turn 1. A lot of noise, as always, from our V8 Supercars, and let's see if it's a little bit cleaner this time around as everyone starts to sort them out. Good to see a fairly tidy run through the first couple of turns. Everyone jockeying for position. Matt Vanderkraan, big spin in the background. I spoke too soon. Darren Crosby, James Hardy, Michael Hayes, Matt Wicks all involved in that one by the look of things. So we'll go back and take a look at that in just a sec. But Matt Vanderkraan up into P9. Okay, he's made the move. You said P8 by the end of this lap, didn't you, Biggles?
Yes, sir. He's got still plenty of time to go. Well,
still plenty to go. Absolutely. So we see the pace line starting to form. Still, Damon Fisher just trying to work himself out there and get back into it, inserting himself between Daniel Sheriff and Dylan Sipple. And the gap's starting to open up now, but out in front, Sean Vandermeulen finds himself comfortably holding P1 at the moment from Trav Daly and Travis Hunt. Then the 2 Peters, Sattler and Latham, right behind as we start to get back around on lap number 1. And really, Not a bad start. Let's go back and take a look, though, at that earlier incident, as these guys do make their way back around. So what's happened at the back of the field here? We'll take a look. It just gets just a little bit of contact by the look of things. Just enough to, turn, unfortunately, Darren Crosby around. And James Hardy, he just cops a bit of a nudge there as a result.
Oh.
So they both end up...
Oh, Matty's going in. Matty's going in. Stephen Varga's going in. So Matty did indicate he was looking at an early pit stop. We thought he was just playing for his food around here on the air and not giving a bit of strategy, but he has. So, as well as Stephen Vargas. So we've got crew championship people early electing to be out of traffic for this one.
Look, to be fair, 25 laps, you've got to really keep an eye on it to fit 2 pit stops in, as we see Scott Rankin looking for a way past Peter Latham. Latham getting off track a little and just spitting some rocks up onto the windscreen, I'm sure. But we're keeping an eye here as usual. This battle for P2 just seems to be where the action is at tonight. But yeah, those early pit stops, that could be a deciding factor later on.
Well, if you get the clean air and get those banker laps there, he's very much capable of doing. Yes. Because more importantly, Travis Daly getting past Travis Hunt there for the Battle of the Travises was crucial, because now Travis Hunt's going to be like, again, I have to try to get the overtake done, which he couldn't quite get done, remember, when they came together in the last one. So he's going to have to do it all over again. This time, Peter Sattler is going to be behind them instead of who we had last time, which is Dumman. The Sharkman who's currently running P15. He's had a moment, my friend, because he's dropped 6 places in this.
At the start, he would have been hoping for. Damon Fisher
he's gone off track a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what happens, right? These guys are so closely matched and race so close together that even a slight mistake is enough to drop you down 5 or 6 positions, particularly early in the race, right? It's a lot of work to do. Sean Vandermeulen, though, enjoying his time in the spotlight up in P1. As we see,
Travis Hunt goes in.
Hunt's going in.
So, big lockup as well, too, having slowed it down just in time. So, he's elected to say, no, I've had enough of battling with the yellow Travie. I'm going to do it on the pit stops. As Travis Daly just puts in the fastest lap, catching on the back there of Sean that's leading this one. So, if Travis continues to put those fastest laps in, that early pit stop from Travis Hunt might not work out. Darren Crosby goes in and Mark Peck, too.
Just saw a very quick lap from Jamie McKnight as well, a 1:49.6, so back in P7. He's looking to make a move. And we'll see if Dane Nothurft holds him up too much. We might go back and take a look at that, because they're just behind. Another little train forming, so we've got a couple of battle packs going on. One for P2, one for the lead, of course, Sean Vandermeulen and Trav Daly up there. P3 now, our second pack, really. Peter Sattler, Peter Latham and Scott Rankin there. And then this group, led out by Jamie McKnight, we've got Gary Buckland, who we know is certainly quick, and Troy Sipple. Those three all chasing down Dane Nothurft, who is sitting in P6 currently. And very easy to see. That's a new livery for him this week, I'm sure.
Oh, Scotty.
It's tidy looking.
Scotty Ranklin was putting some big pressure there on PLF, Peter Latham Fossil, but had a big lock-up moment there and managed to save it, keep it going in the right direction, but has compromise challenge in the old Holden, and he's still in it. Still a little bit of a gap there, about 2 seconds to change too. To Dane, non-draft.
Temporary state of affairs, I'm sure.
Yes. Scott
Rankin certainly here tonight to show off what he can do in this league. But this group continue to chase Dane Nothurft, who doing a pretty reasonable job at the moment of holding off, you've got to say. He's looking very calm, very composed. We're not seeing too much of a wiggle from him. See if any of these guys head into the pits. No, we're going to continue.
Pit road, actually. Dane went in there, just as you spoke about him.
That figures, doesn't it? That figures.
Yes.
Trav Daly setting the fastest lap there, 1:49.1. As Jamie McKnight finds himself with a bit of clear air out in front.
Travis had another fastest lap. Travis Daly in P2, so
yeah,
he is catching quick. and once he catches, of course, Sean, then those fastest laps won't be unless Sean starts setting them. I think Travis, but the Travis is responding, of course, to the other Travis Hunt's early pit stop. So we'll see how that pans out. I got a feeling that he's going to come out with a little bit of time on his side over Travis Hunt when he likes to go to pit road, which he has to, of course.
In the background, though,
fastest lap
you're 1:48. Says to Trav Daly, you're 149.1. Yeah, that's cute. And all the way back in P23 with that clean air, chops 0.3 off the fastest lap. That's huge. Matt Vanderkraan, he's looking to make up a bit of ground. Travis Hunt is a couple of spots ahead of him. So we're talking back in P21 for Trav Hunt and P23 for Matt Vanderkraan. But they are the first cars in terms of those who have made their first pit stop. So we'll have to wait and see what happens as everyone else starts to feed through. But that's the other thing with Mugello, right? That long straight means that every single second you spend in those pits is just amplified by the sheer speed of the cars still making their way around the track. You can't afford to stay in there for too long.
And to put it this way, Travis Hunt's the first one in the lead. He's in P21, right? So he's gone to his pit stop, okay? There's 2 mandatory pit stops, so he's done the first one. Matty is in P23. He's had his first pit stop. Now, Matty is 4.3 seconds and change down the road from Travis Hunt, so keep an eye on that one. As Scotty from the Quantum Peck Racing Team, P13, P14, so forth, head down pit road right now, all by themselves, different strategy.
Take a
Big
look at
battle,
this. Dylan Sippel,
and
Reg James and Todd Martin all at it. The Chubby Buns car getting caught in the middle if he's not careful, but he's taken the line. Now, can Dylan Sippel put the move on here? He's got the inside line. The Chubby Buns car all of a sudden in a bit of a QPR bun of its own.
Yes.
I had to work it in there somewhere because I'm doing my best here.
Would you like some Mustang mustard sauce of that one in the Mustangs? Whoa!
Matt Vanderkraan cops
I'm trying my best.
Another 0.3 off the fastest lap, 148.5. He is pushing hard on.
Don't encourage him, cause
Dylan Sippel spins. He's pulled across, I think, in front of Reg James there, and that spun him in a big way.
But what a save from Dylan. That he ended up putting it in the right direction out of that one. That's a high-speed spin, Dylan.
Now, Reg James...
Dylan, get it done.
Slowing it down. And he's looking to hand that back. Which I think is pretty reasonable.
Sportsmanship again.
Yeah,
Good
it's
job,
cost him a
gentlemen.
couple of spots, but...
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen out there, wow, I've seen sportsmanship in a few leagues that I commentate for my friend and broadcast, and he's so good when you see it. Sometimes you don't see it in other leagues.
We've got 2 drive-throughs, Anita Buckland and Darren Crosby.
Anita.
Both clipping a couple of black flags there, so they'll be serving some drive-throughs. Let's go back and take a quick look at this.
Daz has gone off track too, and he had to tow, so he's maybe got that message and maybe slammed the steering wheel in upset and frustration. And he's had to tow back to pit road, unless he's already retired. Hopefully not, Darren.
Oh, a bit of net code in that, perhaps, but good save though.
Meanwhile, back to the business end, Travie, the Travis for the M1 racing team. He's putting. I mean, you have to say, Sean's been holding on very well in this race for the 451 when he started the reverse grid. But how long can he hold off? And when's he going to go down to pit road? Start signing some autographs. Key, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nova Sim Sports.
No surprises. Reg James, the black flag for that contact with Dylan Sippel. So he'll be serving a drive-through. In fact, we may have just seen him going in for that a moment ago. The battle for P1, though, raging on. Sean Vandermeulen hanging in there as Trav Daly throws everything and the kitchen sink at him. And yeah, Darren Crosby looks like he's out for the moment. There we go. Trav Daly goes through on Sean Vandermeulen. He's just been hanging in there, biding his time for that, and away he goes. So let's see how quickly this gap opens up now that Daly's gotten clear of Vandermeulen. The rest of the field behind these guys, though, we've gone from having 2 or 3 good little battle packs to everyone getting fairly spaced out now.
This is going to be crucial for Travie. He needs to respond. Matty, who already went to pit road, got the clear air, had set those banker laps. It was early. It was Travis Daly was doing the fastest laps, remember? And then when we saw Matty got clear air, he started setting those banker laps in. Peter from P3 will go into pit road. But when Travie caught Vandermeulen, that's when he couldn't continue with those banker laps. Now he's clear air. He has no excuses but himself on the track to get the job done and try to put more banker laps in there and see if he can clear the rest of the field when he boxes.
Take a look at this though. Daniel Sheriffs we've been watching here Matt Wicks and Michael Hayes just going at it a little bit, just taking a bit of a look around. But Daniel Sheriff's always into the pits. Okay. I thought we were on for something there, but Matt Wicks finds himself all alone out there, which he won't be disappointed at all with, I'm sure. And just behind him, teammate James Hardy. So the two Granny Spec Racing entries finding themselves just a bit of space to play with, which, can't argue with. And then here comes Matt Vanderkraan. Up into P12 at the moment.
Travis and Matty, because Travis boxed first.
Yeah,
Matty
so Trav Hunt.
P12.
What, 3 seconds ahead?
I'm amazed by Travis Hunt's pace at the moment, because he was about 4 seconds and change up the road from Matt. Matty's about 3.5, so Matty's shaved about a second out of Travis Hunt, who...
Not as much as you'd expect, though, for the sort of pace that Vanderkraan is showing tonight. I was expecting him to chop just a little bit more out of Hunt.
That's what I was thinking as well, too. Yeah, exactly, but he's not. So you'd have to give it to Travis Hunt doing a good job electing to do that earlier.
Oh, 100%.
It's going to be crucial, but if Travis, the likes of the other Travis, is going to be able to clear him, because Travis was setting bank laps early on that one. In those two, remember, the battle of the Travises is going to be very, very crucial. And how that's going to... And don't think take it out from Scott Rankin as well, too. It's always those quiet achievers at the moment, isn't it? You don't have the cameras pointed on them, but they... slowly chipping away, putting a good lap. So anyway, let's answer that question, because Travi's in, and Sean and Peter.
Well, that's those
anymore. It's going to be a law firm.
So let's see how Matt Vanderkraan goes here. I might get the picture-in-picture, keeping an eye on Matt Vanderkraan and Trav Hunt here.
Yep.
But I do want to take a look a little bit further back, because this is a little battle pack. This is for P18. This is what I love seeing, is just battles all over the place. Joseph Granshaw off in front, with Dane Nothurft, Anita Buckland and Damon Fisher all mixing it up. Now, Anita Buckland hasn't come in at this stage for her first pit stop. So Dane and Damon really chasing Joseph Granshaw right now. But Anita Buckland's making the best of it where she can.
Travis Hunt's got him. Travis Hunt's way past him. Matty's past Matt Vanderkraan. And then Travis Daly come out of the pit road right now, and Sean will follow him. So... the early pit stop has worked brilliantly for Travis Hunt and Matty. And Matty was quite a bit behind them too as well. Remember, Matty was about 6 positions behind them.
And Anita Buckland coming in as well. So Dane Nothurft, I think he's in for his second stop now. So he's looking to get those out of the way. That's interesting. Meanwhile, James Hardy... probably the last of the drivers, with the exception perhaps of Reg James and Daniel Sheriff's in now.
He's got a learners on the back of the car that were for Bunnings there, so don't worry about it. If anything breaks, you can go to Bunnings. Oh, wow. But it's going to hold up Travis Hunt as well.
It will a bit. This is Matt Wicks and James
Hardy.
Hardy.
He's got Matty behind him, Matt Vanderkraan, just a little bit down the road.
You can see him down. He's threatening, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh!
Very, very close there. James Hardy... I think he's probably just had a bit of a pucker moment there, as he almost nailed Trav Hunt with that loss of control. So that's one of the Granny Spec entry vehicles out of the way, and we just see Trav Hunt putting the pressure on Matt Wicks here, right in behind him. That L plate not winning him any favours from Trav Hunt. He's not taking it easy on him at all, the poor bloke.
No learners here.
And here he goes, Trav Hunt pushing on through. And right behind him, there's Matt Vanderkraan making the move as well. So these two barely separated. The Granny Spec Racing entry just caught up in it. And look, honestly, if I was James Hardy, I'd be pulling into the pits to get the hell out of the way as well. Probably the safe move, I reckon.
Well, if you're a Ferrari, my friend, but if you're...
Oh, look, come on, leave me alone.
It's going to show. Oh, we're having some fun.
We are.
I'm just doing that because I want you back in the broadcasting booth.
We'll get back into it. We'll get back into it. Don't you worry.
Scotty Rankin is one that my friend Scotty's up there, and let's see how Scotty can push these tyres to the absolute limit. Of course, in the gasoline, Jamie McKnight, Gary Buckland, they're all yet to go to pit road, and then you'll go down on Travis Hunt as essentially the net race leader on pit stop strategy at the moment. But that's one down. Remember, 2 of them they have to do.
Take a look forward. This is Jamie McKnight now on your screen as we keep an eye on Trav Hunt and Matt Vanderkraan in the background. But Jamie McKnight is trying his best to catch Scott Rankin, who currently up 6 positions, although probably helped along by all the pit stops. It's really just these 3 up in front at the moment. Gary Buckland just tied to the back of Jamie McKnight at this stage. But P1, 2 and 3, Rankin, McKnight and Buckland yet to make their first pit stop.
Going in. There it is in your picture. So the Wanted Goons has gone in for some goon refill, a.k.a. the gas tank, filling it full of goon. Scotty for the ride sim.
McKnight and Buckland carry on. Now, looking at the gap they've got, it's not going to be enough at this stage. They've only got 28 seconds over Trav Hunt. They're going to have to spend about 40 in the pits by the time all is said and done. So they either need to find another 10 seconds or they're going to find themselves back right around P10 with Stephen Varga is about where I'd expect they'll come out.
So we'll Travis going to be down the main straightaway. So will Maddie. But what about Travis Daly? Will Travis Daly clear Scotty? There you go. Scotty comes out of the pit road. What about Sean?
They've got the pace.
Scotty's just cleared Sean, yes. So Sean slowed down a little bit. Vandermolen, because he was right up the gearbox essentially of Travis, remember, when Travis got past him.
That's very true.
Now Scotty Rankin has got the job done the pit road, my friend. You'd say P4.
Or P4, I reckon, yeah. So a good showing so far. Still another pit stop to come, though. So far, there's only a couple that have done that too. Dane Nothdurft and Damon Fisher back in P21 and 22 on track at the moment. The only 2 that have pulled 2 pit stops. Reg James in P12 and then Jamie McKnight and Gary Buckland out in front. The only others yet to make their first stop. So we'll have to just keep an eye on that. They've got to be getting close, though. Jamie McKnight starting to hit a bit of traffic. That is the number 21 entry of Dylan Sipple just ahead of them. He's back in P23 right now, so he'll be getting the blue flag advisory, no doubt, that these guys are on a mission behind him. But they certainly haven't found the extra gap they need over Trav Hunt, so if these guys are heading into the pits here, and there we see Gary Buckland makes the move. McKnight's going to push on and just try his chances. So Buckland goes in. McKnight will retain the lead on track for the moment, but some work to do. As you can see, Trav Hunt just over the hill, just getting the slightest view of McKnight's rear bar as he rounds turn 1. And away we go again. Let's take a look back at P7, the battle for P7. Sean Vandermeulen leading out Peter Sattler and Peter Latham. These guys have just been cruising along, tracking each other through. Not a huge amount of change from these 3, but certainly throwing it into every corner and maintaining those gaps as they make their way down the straight, coming past Gary Buckland just on the way out of the pits now. So he finds himself back in P9 after his first stop. We'll call it an effective P8 because, of course, Jamie McKnight yet to make his first. So we'll have to wait and see where he comes out in amongst all of that.
I'll give it to Stephen Varga as well, too. He's up 9 places in this reverse grid, an 8.68, remember, after the incident in Heat 1. So he's doing his absolute best for damage limitation, you'd have to say, for the Quantum Pex race and it's damage limitation, not only in this race and in the feature race, but it's also the championship as well, too, because, you know, he wants to not let Maddie get that many points away. It's like Maddie, it's like, you know, it's like Formula 1 championship at the moment, isn't it? And Maddie's the one with the advantage. This is the Max Verstappen. And Stevie at the moment is the poor British McLaren driver. But
nobody on himself.
Yeah. But you got to think Stephen's got Troy behind him in a racing team, Quantum Pex Racing. He's got Scotty further in P12 behind him in a Quantum Pex Racing team. He's got Todd Martin in a Quantum Pex Racing team. So all their teammates are right there, line of stern down the road there. So they can work together to help Stevie get some points. Or Stevie can help Troy and Scotty in the get some crucial points in the championship as well.
Speaking of Quantum Peckies, we've been keeping an eye here on Craig Rose, who'd been stuck in the middle of Michael Hayes and James Hardy for a while. Just gets outbraked and James Hardy goes through. Mark Peck in the background. He'll catch his teammate here. So a little bit of adjustment. Let's go back up the front though. Trav Hunt and Matt Vanderkroon. That gap has evaporated, only 0.2 separating them, so the battle is on once again. Let's keep an eye on it. It's always a good time with these guys. They like to really battle it out up front here. So we'll see who's got the goods this evening. Still a little way to go. We're about halfway through race number 2 here tonight. round 6, of course, of V8 Supercars Season 2 with Alliance Sim Racing. And as always, these drivers delivering a fantastic show for us.
It's got to be a bit of pressure, isn't it, mate? With Matty in your tailpipe, knowing that Matty just dominated Heat 1.
I tell you.
What do you think's going to be through Travis's race boots right now? As he's going to be thinking, well, how long? I mean, it's every right to do it too, isn't it? Because Travis Hunt, he's not too far in the championship away. So he's certainly battling it out in the championship. I'm just confirming that one at the moment. Yep. Travis Hunt's third in the championship. So he's only, give or take, about 68 points behind our race leader, which seems a lot, but it's not Formula One. There's a lot of points for each racing heat race. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Plus, you got to mention, Travi does have as mentioned from the race control, 10-point post-race penalty. So
that's going to hurt.
Snag a few more off that.
That's going to hurt. Tell you what, though, he's probably more composed than I would be. You put me in Trav Hunt's spot right now, and I think about the only thing I'm thinking is don't lock it up, don't lock it up, don't lock it up. Because that's going to give Matt Vanderkraan all the signal he needs to make it straight through on Trav Hunt here. Jamie McKnight has been holding off Trav Hunt and Matt Vanderkraan. He's not pulling away any further, but he's managing to hold them out at about 27 seconds. So it's not going to be enough to keep him in amongst the top couple as he does make his pit stop whenever he decides to come in for that first one. But he's staying
Stephen Varga goes in early. So he did early the first one. So the second round of pit stops are coming up very shortly.
Starting to roll through, yeah.
Yeah, what's interesting here, if I was in Travis Hunt racing boots, I would be not thinking about Matty. You know that Matty's probably going to be firing his way through soon, right? Clearly he's quicker if he's in your tailpipe and he's putting pressure on you. He's going to be worried about Travis Daly for the M1 racing team because remember, they've been going for it too for now. They're kind of like the other little mini friendly arch enemies in this track, the Battle of Travises. So that's another thing to look out for. And I think maybe Travis aren't thinking about that one and not too worried about the Angry Birds Racing 180 machine getting past him anytime soon.
Doubt. As we take a look here on your main screen, Peter Sattler, Peter Latham and Gary Buckland continuing to go at it. The battle for P7 rages on. And then just a little further back as well, we talked about no battle packs just a moment ago, but Joseph Granshaw, James Hardy and Michael Hayes all here for P13 as well. And then further up the field, we've got Trav Hunt, Matt Vanderkraan and Trav Daly now getting in on the action. So we've got these guys battling it out.
Jamie's going in from the race lead. Finally!
Finally makes it through. I got to wonder, was he holding on just in case there was an incident that he could have pitted under and maintained it?
Why not? Yeah.
And what else do you do at that point? So let's see where he comes out.
And Travis Daly's starting to catch him too. This is what I figured was the worst thing that's happened.
Vanderkraan coming in for his second stop, as is Daly. Both going in for their second stop.
Oh, he's almost smashed into the back of a championship leader. Wow, and managed just to lock it up just in time there and not force Matty around.
Oh, that was close.
That could have almost been at least one or two race positions lost from both the drivers in this race. But
now, bad news here. I'm not quite sure what's happened, but Jamie McKnight is out of the car. He's out of his vehicle.
Whoa!
In the pits. I've got to wonder if he's having some equipment issues because he is dropping. He's now been in that pit for 47 seconds, 48 seconds in the box.
Get back in there. Somebody give him a call.
Jamie McKnight. Not what he would have hoped for this evening, I'm sure.
Jamie.
He'd been running so well too. That's disappointing. Because that's going to cost him. Even if he gets back in now, he's going to find himself well down the field. Meanwhile, out in front, Trav Hunt all alone. He's been abandoned by the other two, Trav Daly and Matt Vanderkraan, choosing to make their second stop.
It's not a bad by lap times he needs to be doing because they're going to come out thick and fast. But further back at the bit, 12th and 13th as the heat is on because he got the Bunnings learning. At the moment they're learning to drive for Bunnings. I'm not quite sure. Is that James Hardy?
Look, they take on everything, don't they? These days. Let's take another look.
Drive V8 Supercars as well. All right, didn't know that.
I mean, you can learn all sorts of things going to Bunnings if you just wander around for a while, I suppose. Maybe this is something you pick up there. Maybe I should spend more time in at Bunnings myself and pick up a few tips.
Yeah, when you'd meet half the local community, though, because Bunnings always jam-packs things up in back, mate. How do you get your Bunnings snag?
Oh, you have to. You have to.
Hey,
Trav Hunt's in.
Get in there and sponsor
Here
some
he goes.
Racing. Come on.
So Scott Rankin,
Travis in.
let's see what he's doing here. He's going to continue. So Scott Rankin now takes up the mantle, P1, at least until he has to make his second stop. And not far behind, if you take a look in the background, just as we come to turn 1, you might just spy Sean Vandermeulen. There he is, not too far back. So he'll be enjoying P2 for a little while as well. But Scott Rankin, our wildcard entry this evening, is just enjoying his time out in front for the moment, the Wanted Goons entry. He'll have to put a whole lot of distance in here, though, because the next placed would be Trav Hunt, I'd say. Be pretty close to top of those who've done P2. Let's have a look. Here we go. Matt Vanderkraan and Trav Daly still going at it. Trav Hunt hasn't quite got out of the pits. Big lock-up just ahead of them from Todd Martin. But these guys, again, side by side.
Oh.
And Trav Hunt right on the back. These three are going to take it all the way to the line. 10 laps or thereabouts to go. Oh, big bounces over the sausage curves. That's a little bit much to ask. And that's going to cost Trav Daly his position as Matt Vanderkraan gets the better drive out of the corner. Big
and the early pit stops worked. The early pit stops worked for Travie because he got ahead there. Oh, but Travis Daly over Travis Hunt.
He did.
And Travis Hunt's managed to catch him because they're bailing it out. Matt Vanderkraan and Travis Daly, that's going to be crucial for them. These are the net 1, 2, and 3 podium positions, I'd say, at the moment, because they're the quickest cars, and the rest of the field still have to take their second pit stop there. Jared,
I think these guys, barring a safety car or some sort of incident between the three of them, you'd have to say these guys will see it through.
Yeah, no,
but let's keep an eye on Trav Daly and Trav Hunt here. These guys absolutely going at it as always. Let's see what happens.
Problem is they need to work together. They need to work together and
try and reel
stop
in
fighting
Vanderkraan,
because
right?
they're like in Heat 1, they're going to let Matty up the road. Look at Matty's starting to already get a half a second gap. Come on, guys. Travis, is it? But you guys, I mean, come on. You're both battling the championship. You're both up there in the top 5 in the championship as well, too. So don't give it away to Matty.
Vanderkraan's just, he's got another gear.
Work
I
together.
swear. Someone check his gearbox in the pits afterwards.
Yeah.
Bit of scrutiny.
He's got traffic, Matty, so they could do a little switch for the route there from Travis Daly, and Travis Hunt's going to take advantage of that one. Side by side.
Wiggle.
When's the last time we saw this? Heat 1.
Absolutely. We're at it again. The two Travises side by side down the main straight. Matt Vanderkraan looking in the mirror has got to be thinking, guys, just a little nudge. You know, take each other out. Give me some room. Big lock up again.
Yeah.
That rear right, copping it for Trav Hunt at the moment. Trav Daly, rather. No, Trav Hunt. God, I'm trying to keep track of them here. They keep swapping positions on me.
The Travies, yeah, mate.
But Trav Hunt,
Both great drivers.
We've seen him
Both
lock
great
up that
men,
rear
yeah.
a few times, so he's obviously got that brake bias running a long way back tonight to try and just maximise what he gets out of it. But the rear left, the rear right, just over the last couple of laps, seeing them start to lock up a little. So he's very much on the limit of those tyres, and I imagine he'll be making just a few adjustments as he goes to make sure it's not costing him lap time. Meanwhile, Vanderkraan, 2.5 seconds, just pulling away into the distance. Look at him off the front of our
Yeah, I
screen
want to
now.
see, because his last lap was a 49.4. Scott
This is gonna be
Rankin
quick.
leading this race is a 49.9. So Scotty Rankin's still putting some bankers in. If Scotty can still continue to do mid 45s, he's good to go. As Peter, both the Peters actually got Peters everywhere, got Travis's everywhere. They both boxed from P4 and P5. I'm just curious. Okay, the last lap was a 50.4 from Scotty Rankin, our race leader currently at the moment. Matty, when he crosses the line, let's have a look and check what he does. He does a 49.4. I'm just trying to see where he's in the track map. No, he still hasn't crossed the line yet because remember here they have another pit stop. They take their pit stops. If Matty's in the 49 earlies, then Scotty's got a big box. It's a 49. It's a 48. Yeah,
48.9.
It's 49. Yeah. So
It's
Scott
quick.
Rankin and Sean, and as well as Gary Gazza at front of this race, they've got a box because you can see there's a 23-second gap to a race leader of Scotty, and that's not enough for them to cut it. It's going to cost you about 40-something seconds, 42 or so.
He's just going to keep reeling them in at this rate, isn't he? We're going to stay on board with Trav Hunt for this lap. Not only because it's great to see a top-level driver putting one of these through its paces, but he's all over the back of Trav Daly, so we're getting two views at once. Trav Daly doing everything he can to hold him off. Oh, Trav Hunt hits the curb. Just throws the car sideways a little. Matt Vanderkraan, though, while these guys have been battling it out, his last lap was 1.5 seconds quicker than these guys around the track. So, yeah, I think at this point, it's going to take something special for the two Travs to catch him up. Just too much pace.
I don't think that, because their battling's not going to help themselves. They need to work together early to catch Matty and not. But it's entertaining. It's the yellow mellow machines of the Travies. It's just fun to watch, isn't it?
I love seeing them go at it, though. These guys always put on a good show. Travis Hunt, though, I'm looking at this, he's got a bit more pace, but it's not quite enough to put him in position to make the move. He's going to have to really line it up down the main straight in just a corner or two's time. And he's going to have another crack at Trav Daly and getting through. I reckon if he can make it past, then that's going to be enough to have him out in front.
Oh, the last time they tried, it ended up pearl-shaped, didn't it? So
well,
let's see if that's all round 2 again. Sean, Van der Molen will go in, Gary will go in.
He's got the run. Here we go. Trav Hunt making the move up past Trav Daly. Is it enough pace? He's just tacked on the back here. He's getting himself just a little bit of a boost from the lapped car. And that could be just enough. He still finds himself on the outside. Trav Daly, a masterclass in defensive driving. We're seeing it yet again. It's not just about your ability to overtake. It really is the ability to defend. He absolutely is.
He's good. He fights for keeping his position. He's clearly sometimes not the quickest man on the track through those sectors and so forth. But it's one thing to catch, it's another to overtake, and Travis Hunt's well aware of that. He's been staring at the M1 Racing 77 machine's gearbox for the good part of all of this, both races tonight, and still can't find a way past. I'll tell you, one man doing a really good job. He's just down the road from him.
Bit of a tap.
Stephen Varga, but keep an eye on this one still. Bugsy might be catching him pretty quickly too.
He's working on it. I'm very, very impressed that Daly held that together then, because that was a big nudge from Trav Hunt. Just maybe a little reminder that that Hunt is there and wanting to get through and get on with it. But take a look at the damage to the front end now of Travis Hunt's car. It's just pushed that front grille in a little. And I think Trav Daly, look, he's going to continue to defend. You know, you were saying before, he doesn't have the fastest sector times, but in amongst this company... Okay, so Rankin's in the pits now. Let's see where he comes out compared to these guys. You know, saying that Trav Daly isn't the fastest on track, it really doesn't put it into comparison when you consider the field he's amongst. Like, I would kill to be at the same sort of pace as about in the middle of this pack. Big slide, Trav Hunt just overcooks it. That's going to cost him not just his gap to Trav Daly, but also could be enough to have him lose the slipstream. Are they going to get out? They're still out ahead of Scott Rankin. So Stephen Varga, is he going to get through behind?
He'll get ahead. Steve Varga, he will, I think.
No, Rankin's back out on track now. So
Rankin's got ahead of him, yep.
He's managed to hang on to that huge slide. I think Trav Hunt, that big slide, that's put some extra temperature into those tyres, and he's going to struggle with grip for a little while now. He's going to have to let those tyres come back down to temp, which is going to mean he cannot push on as hard as he has been, and Trav Daly's got to capitalise here. Lap 19 of 25, race number 2 here tonight, round 6, and Matt Vanderkraan, once again, looking to just walk away with this one.
After all those pit stops, 2 of them to be correct, and even the traffic and battling it out there, because remember, he came out just right side by side with Travis Daly, and that's the simple thing they did, isn't it? And Travis Hunt, of course, has been doing an alternative pit stop with those 2, and then he still managed to be all bunched up together. So it doesn't matter how many pit stops to throw into the mix; they're still line astern on the track. They're separated by half tenths and so forth.
Absolutely, and the
Steve
2
Varga
Travises
holding on from Sean Van der Molen, who was doing a fantastic job, wasn't he? He was the man that was in the feature race here, leading. He got the pole position on that one. And tell you what, he's battling in P6 at the moment, so he's certainly earned it in that reverse grid. And he is holding on, and he's pressure right now on the men's second championship too.
That's a fair effort. Sean Van der Molen making a showing tonight. P6, a great result if he can hang in there. I'm just having a look at the moves and shakes on the grid here. Trav Daly and Trav Hunt, from the start of this race, have just managed to swap positions. But you take a look around them, Matt Vanderkraan ahead is up 9 spots. Scott Rankin behind them's up 3. Vargsy, P5, is up 14 spots.
He might be losing one in a second, mate.
Oh, he might be.
The outside
There we
into turn 1.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Not just yet, but not just yet. Not on Vargsy's watch, mate. Vargsy's going to defend that one.
It's a bloody good effort, as always, from Steven Varga. Hanging in there. Vandermeulen's got some pace tonight. He's definitely nailed the setup by the sound of things, because he's not slow, don't get me wrong, but the pace we're seeing from him tonight is just a step up from what we've seen the last few weeks from him. So
off the racing line, Vargs, Steven Vandermeulen's in the kitty ladder. You've got to be careful, but Gaz is going to take him to the inside there. Yes, he will. Gary Buckland up into P6 after a short little mistake there from Sean. To the Nova Simsport racing driver. I know there's a lot of action at the moment. You're still keeping your eyes peeled on the Travises.
Let's swap this up.
When there's
here
two
and
Travises together, there's trouble on track, and that's what we like. It's a T. It's a triple T.
Let's just change this up a bit, see if we can just reverse this, because I do want to keep an eye on Steven Varga as well. But we'll try and keep an eye on the two Travises on our split.
I can do
here.
the Travises. You can do the. What would you like to do, my friend?
We'll take a look at Vargs and just see what he's got here, because
got that one.
You know, he's not putting in the quickest laps, but he's up 14 spots. You know, his best lap of 49.3. It's not to be sneezed at, but it's not, you know, it's not solidly into the 48s like a number of the drivers are in this top 10. But the consistency from Steven Varga and the timing that he's chosen for his pit stops has just been on point tonight.
Well, the battle of the Travies are still at it, my friend, because every time we go down to the main straight into turn 1, switch again. This time around, Travis Hunt's got him. Now, it's taken how long, and how long will it last before Travis, the M1 racing team, says, okay, let's go again, my friend. There is time, and I'm happy to continue to battle with it. It's going to be the king of the Travises here in Italia. And
you say there's time. We're on lap 21. There's not that much time left.
I don't think there's enough time. No,
there's not a lot of time. So the Travs are going to have to figure themselves out. Just behind him, though, Scott Rankin. He's not closing the gap, but he's comfortably holding on to P4 there. And then, of course, Steven Varga, Gary Buckland, Sean Vandermeulen here battling it out for P5. So still plenty going on. The rest of the field just spaced out a little more comfortably behind, and everyone just trying to put in solid laps as everyone does look towards the end of this race. We've got just a few laps to go once they come around this time. Vanderkraan, again, out in front, 5.7 seconds gap over Trav Hunt is just huge. It really is.
Well, they didn't want to battle with him. They let Matty just run away with it up the road. The Travies are battling themselves. And Scotty's done a solid job, of course. It was quite expected from our celebrity this evening. But more importantly, I've been impressed with the Varga stuff. Steven Varga, he has got a 14 positions gain in this one. He didn't have the best of luck, of course, in the first race. He was in the right position for qualifying. But that early first lap incident pushed him all the way to the back of the field. And he's come back.
Snaps.
Whoa! Drive safely, my friend. Rear ended that. How is that rear wing
still attached?
Spoiler did not attach.
No idea.
That's carbon.
No idea. I tell you what I'm really impressed with was the way he lined that up and just bounced the car off the tyres, took a little bit of the energy and just pushed it back into the car and got himself rolling again. That was well handled by Joseph Granshaw back there in P18. So just getting a bit loose, but not losing it all.
How's everybody enjoying this race out there? We had Brad out there with Stephen Kennedy out, and as well as Peter was chatting to us earlier. So let us know what you think about this race. That's still got a few more laps remaining, but
it's tidy though, hasn't it? I don't want to jinx this, so I'm not going to say it out loud. But it has been a very tidy race so far. A few incidents here and there, but these guys, as the season progresses, really just putting in some solid runs. It's almost like they watched Bathurst just a couple of weeks ago and went, you know what, we could do that. We could go the whole race with no dramas, no safety cars, right? Oh, I've said it.
Without no meatballs or anything. Like, it can't happen in the real iRacing virtual world. But It happened as well too for a team I was spotting for, not on that one, but of course for the recent iRacing event, and yeah, they were all the way back after early in the race, and they fought their way back, and I was like 10 hours later, I'm like, where'd you end up? Like P2. I'm like, what? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
Sometimes it's just about hanging in there, isn't it?
Endurance races, you finish it anywhere in the top 10, and for like 10 hours plus or whatever endurance race, and you're getting those results regardless of where you start on the grid. That is just something to go, wow.
Big look up the inside. Trav Daly wondering if he can make it. Oh, Trav Hunt, he's gone very wide. That's all that Trav Daly needed. Trav Hunt has just pushed it too hard under brakes, and that's been enough to let Daly back through.
The Travie Daly's going to get that one up there on Travis Hunt. He's going to be, I don't know, they're fuming about that. One person won't be fuming, it'll be Matty. Badakran has been done it again and again and again and again. He's going to be doing it, the man leading the championship, dominating. Now, we start soon to be dominating the championship, but he has dominated both of these races.
One again, Trav Daly coming through. Takes a big look up the inside. I wonder if that look up the inside has been enough to just throw. Yeah, he's just throwing him off the line there a little bit, hasn't he? But
a simple move for a simple racing broadcaster.
We've looked back at that one, and yeah, not wrong. We've looked back there, and Trav Hunt's back through again.
Oh, it must have been left. It must have been in my bad situation, or he fought for it. Anyway, go back and look at that one.
Let's go back and take a quick look right now. And let's see how this...
Has he lost it?
How this is...
No, that's a fight.
That's a big dive and some...
Yes.
A little bit of a dive from one Trav and a little bit off on the braking from the other. And they've swapped it up yet again. So here we go, 3 laps to go. Matt Vanderkraan cruising comfortably out in P1, while Travis Hunt and Trav Daly continue to battle it out all the way to the line here.
Have you tried those Kumo tyres? Matt Vanderkraan. I mean, he's got listed on the side of his machine. I'm not quite sure I really like the handling of those, actually, in my road car, but
I'll be honest, I don't think I'm good enough to tell the difference half the time. But yeah, racing slicks. I wouldn't mind giving him a try on the road car. Not so great in the
no. I'm talking about road car tires, not the racing.
Oh, of course.
But it's course. Hey, I tell you what, Travis ain't at it yet, as you can clearly see on that one. I'm just going to keep an eye on Matty. I think Matt's going to be good at the Angry Birds. But certain tires in wet conditions, of course, in the Queensland roads and where you are in Australia and stuff like that. It's good to have good tires. It's good to talk about what are good tires. And maybe we'll get a tyre sponsor at some point in the future anyway, on Alliance Sim Racing Network or something like that we would all purchase on our road cars that are practical and talk about, well, hey, what's good? What gives you a little bit more grip when it's greasy, slippery? Sometimes it's oil and it's been raining and it hasn't rained for a while. I want to know what works on certain cars. And it's affordable as well, too, because we ain't got a whole deep pockets to be buying expensive tyres.
I feel like your tyres might be running down, mate. You're taking a bit of a look around at the moment. It's on your mind.
I've been overseas, mate. I don't even have a car at the moment. I had cars that I could drive in my family, but it's all good.
I tell you what, a tyre sponsor wouldn't hurt.
Yeah,
but of course,
we all drive, right? We all drive.
That's true. But of course, until we get those tyre sponsors on board, got to say thanks to the sponsors. As always, Alliance Sim Racing supported by a range of companies, 24/7 sim services, doing an amazing job in race control, although thankfully the driver's not keeping them busy tonight. And of course, the M1 Racing Entry, part of the M1 Used Cars sponsor team.
There we go. They don't know all that.
Yeah, plenty. Oh, big
Travis,
look up the inside.
Travis Wood. Yeah.
As Joseph Bradshaw just gives them plenty of room.
Out of the way.
And Trav Daly has gone very, very wide. That's thrown right off. So Travis Hunt finds himself with almost a second gap. Is he going to be able to make the most of this? As Daly just goes very, very loose behind him, trying to get the power down and catch back up. Matt Vanderkraan onto the final lap. And he is well out in front. You can almost catch him just off the bottom of the screen there. Just occasionally you get a glimpse of him.
How do you catch an angry bird?
Oh, look,
That's the question, isn't it?
it's a good question. I don't know if anyone has the answers here. But Trav Hunt and Trav Daly back into their starting positions for this race. But Matt Vanderkraan up 9. Behind these guys, Rankin up 3 and Stephen Varga up 14 positions. So huge
Tony
movement
Bugs is a
around these
Drive
two.
to Survive right there. That's something that, well, it's up a Netflix series for sure. I mean, that's a good recovery drive. But of course, he had to recover because Matty is the man that doesn't need to recover from anything. Confident of getting a P10 to a P1 in the reverse grid? I think he could. I knew he could. I think Matty knew he could as well.
Honestly,
so he
he's
just
made
needed
it
a little
look
luck,
easy,
lady luck on
hasn't
his
he?
side, which he had, didn't he?
Absolutely.
And on top of it, he had to battle to Travis's to get it done, but he's going to get it done. He's going to get it done twice.
Matt Vanderkraan,
Here in
your winner,
Italia.
race number 2. As in the background, Travis Hunt and Travis Daly come through. And a fantastic race from both of them. And then right behind, Scott Rankin, our wildcard entry, a fantastic showing in race number 2 for him. 4th position. Stephen Varga coming through just ahead of Sean Vandermeulen, and Gary Buckland couldn't quite get it done behind them. Then Peter Latham, and of course Troy Sipple just rounding that final corner now as well. I tell you what, a fantastic finish all around. That's what you love to see. Just really good, clean racing the whole way through. Let's see what Matt Vanderkraan's up to out in front. He's certainly made the racetrack his own tonight again. And yeah, I don't know how anyone's going to stop him at this point. He's just going to keep pulling away out in front of the championship. About the only thing that's holding him in there, I reckon, is the fact that despite the almost 9-second gap at the finish, Trav Hunt and Trav Daly still get the same number of points for P2 and P3. Because I tell you what, if we started to total up the time gap, if that's how we were judging it, Matt Vanderkraan would be absolutely unstoppable at this point. It's just phenomenal results from him once again.
I say cool, calm, and collective anyway when he speaks to us, which he will be. He's just so cool. I mean, I guess smooth operator kind of thing, isn't it? He's got text messages from Carlos Sainz going, yeah, smooth operator again there from Matt Vanderkraan, who is smooth operating his way around another racetrack. And he's smooth operating by 2/10 sometimes a lap quicker than everybody else per lap. And it's like, hey, calm down. Let's scrutiny this machine. What's he got under that bonnet?
Right, gotta wonder. You gotta wonder. Once again, unfortunately, our results are not playing ball this evening. We'll have to get that sorted for next round. But the outcomes tonight: Matt Vanderkraan, your winner in race number 2. Trav Hunt and Trav Daly, P2 and P3. Then Scott Rankin, Stephen Varga, Sean Vandermeulen, Gary Buckland, Peter Latham in P8, Troy Sipple, and Todd Martin rounding out the top 10 as we see Matt Vanderkraan giving it everything to use up the last of those tyres, nearly getting wiped out on his way through. As he celebrates, let's bring on in Trav Daly, our P3 finisher. Travis Daly, how are you, my friend?
Good, thank you. Are you?
Doing well. I tell you what, that battle kept us very entertained right throughout. Just trying to keep the Travises right in my mind has been a challenge tonight. How'd you feel about the outcome there?
Really well. I really enjoyed his track. I haven't done many laps with the supercar, but I've done a lot of laps with the GT3 around here, so I'm very familiar with the track. But no, I enjoyed it.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And I tell you what, for someone who hasn't done many laps, got to be impressed with the outcome tonight. Bit of a shame to see you end up back in 3rd, but mate, some very, very entertaining racing from you this evening. So appreciate you putting the show on.
No, huge. Well, unfortunately, I get a spin in first one, so I wanted to try and make it up in the second race. I tried playing a bit of strategy, so I didn't actually end up taking tyres at the end, and I took a bit more fuel in the first stop, which got me out in front of Travis. But unfortunately, that's my little mistake, outbraking myself, and I just couldn't recover from there.
That was the first race, right, Travis Daly? Yeah, I mean, because it's the Travie battle, the Travises. And then you guys came together in the first heat race, but then you both kind of backed off a little bit, and it's just go again, right? Reset, go again.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then of course somehow the powers that be have got bring you two together again. Even we had 2 pit stops, so still you can't separate the Travises. And then you guys are at it 2.0 again for some fantastic battling. Like, what is it with Travis's? Like, what do you guys just like? And then meanwhile, I don't know, when we're talking about it up in the commentary box, it's like, while you guys are battling, you're allowing Maddie to get away with the race win here again.
It came to a point where we weren't going to catch Maddie, so all my focus was on Travis and myself, and that was our battle pack.
And the result there for you then.
Yeah.
Travis Daly, P3 for race number 2. Well done, mate. We'll let you go and celebrate that. So enjoy your evening, mate. It's well earned after that race.
Cheers for that, guys.
Always a pleasure. Travis Daly taking out P3 for us. And, of course, we're going to jump straight across to the other Travis. Travis Hunt, how are you, my friend?
Oh, my God. Once again.
Yeah, look, it's that was a lot of back and forth with Trav. Mate, you must be sweating.
Absolutely. Oh, it was nuts. I was just... I felt really bad in that first one for spinning him because he come out of the corner. I put my foot down and he was just there. I was like, oh, shit. And he just went around and, yeah, I felt really bad. But no hard feelings in the end. I was just trying not to do it in the second race.
Yeah, it did look like you were perhaps struggling a little bit for grip, particularly in race 1. We saw you getting very sideways out a lot of the corners. Do you think maybe a bit of a tweak of the setup could have been all it took, or was it just the conditions tonight?
I've only had about 2 hours practice, so I think it's just
that could be it.
But,
that could be it.
Yeah, I found the last time I went around here was a little bit difficult as well, but as the race went on, just learned a little bit more and felt a little bit more confident. That's all it is, really.
Tell you what, I'm sitting here just cursing you quietly that 2 hours of practice gets you a result like that. Travis Hunt, P2 in race number 2. Well done, mate. We'll let you go enjoy that one, hey?
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the stream. Doing an awesome job every week.
Always a pleasure. We'll hope to talk to you again next week. Travis Hunt, of course, taking out P number 2. He's back again. Matt Vanderkraan. Mate.
We changed the combination to the booth. He keep coming back.
He just keeps finding his way back in here, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What on earth did you put in that fuel tank tonight, mate?
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I was speaking of fuel tanks. I was a bit worried because I was letting Crew Chief do my fueling, and then I remembered I haven't installed Crew Chief yet.
Oh no!
It all worked out right in the end, thank God.
All's well that ends well. Another fantastic victory at almost 9 seconds clear of P2. How does anyone stop you? Like, help us out here. Help us help the other racers. How are we going to stop you? Can we let down one of your tyres or something like that? Is that what it's going to take to keep you out of the podium?
No, look, I think tonight I had a good night. I do like this track, and there's plenty of blokes here who keep me very, very honest. So I'm far from getting ahead of myself as the competition's in ASR. There's some fantastic drivers in here, and I've got to work bloody hard to stay in front of them. My right wrist and right forearm is absolutely spent after that. That was hard work.
Well, hey, hard work for a hard champion. That's probably going to be taking the championship trophy. But Matty, was that you mentioned it to us that you said after winning the Heat 1, all right, what's the strategy in the reverse grid? And you're like, well, I'm thinking about boxing early. You did box on lap 1. I was saying to Jared in the booth, I was like, he's probably going to be P8. He should be P8 by the end of lap 1. You were P9 by the end of lap 1, but you ended up going to pit road. Clear road, put some banker laps in. You started putting some banker laps in, didn't you? Other drivers were putting in banker laps ahead of you, but then you're just like, that's a banker lap, bang. You blew them away by about a second. That made all the difference, didn't it? You jumped about, 6-7 spots just in the first pit stop, and then, of course, you did it all over again in the second.
Yeah, it's the only way I was ever going to do it. I was a bit worried on lap 1 whether I was actually going to make the pit road entry, because there was a fair bit going on around the last corner. I think Gazza Buckland, Big J-Mac and myself were 3 wide going into the last corner, and I was on the inside. I thought, I don't know how I'm going to get to the pit road here, but I managed to squeeze across. Yeah, then just put the foot down and hope for the best.
Did the
we
job.
Didn't see that.
Look
back at the replay.
We'll have to go back and rewatch this one, absolutely. Before we let you go, Matt, any shout-outs from you tonight?
I made all the boys at Angry Birds Racing. Great team to be a part of. We all help each other our heaps. The sponsors of the league, the admin of the league, Race Control doing a great job there. and safety car, you boys in the commentary, and the bloke down at Scorp Tech today who gave me the computer.
Oh, mate, got to slip in an extra 50 for that one. It's clearly helped. Matt Vanderkrant, go and celebrate P1, Race 1 and Race 2. A fantastic night for your championship. And looking forward to seeing you again next week at this rate, mate.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Love your work. Hopefully talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Matt Vanderkrant, a fantastic night for him. Before we do our sign-off, though, I would like to take an opportunity just to have a bit of a chat to our wildcard entry. We saw him on track plenty tonight, but unfortunately, with such clean racing, didn't get a chance to get in his ear while he was out there. Scott Rankin, how are you, mate?
I hope you've got the bleeper ready because I'm about to give you my thoughts on the car.
Oh, please do.
Just go ahead, sir.
Not the night you hoped for?
Bleep, bleep, bleepity, bleep, 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 bleep. Yeah, but the car was alright to drive, so.
I feel like we're missing some context there. Look, first of all, let's talk the races tonight. Not an awful finish in race number 2 there in 4th. Race 1, probably not what you were hoping for.
Actually, to be honest, I didn't set a time anywhere near what I got out of either one of those until very back end of practice. I just sort of just managed things, just finally clicked, and I dropped about 4/10 out of it. It was actually a little bit disappointing when I put the qualifying lap together, but somebody told me we were playing poker tonight, so I got a pair of 4s. What's anyone else got?
A flush and a 3 of a kind. No, you did all right, mate. What are you talking about? You come in here to a new league. You're filling in here.
I hate this car.
It could be worse. It could be a Ferrari that boy Jared was driving last night.
I tell you what, Scott. Biggles has given me no end of grief for my efforts in a Ferrari 296 last night, and so he should, because it was embarrassing. We were talking a little earlier about how, even being mid-pack in the field here in Alliance Sim Racing's Supercar series is really it's nothing to be upset about, with just the sheer pace across the entire field here this evening. Now, as a bit of a wildcard entry, you haven't probably experienced quite so much of this particular group, but I believe you're fairly familiar with a number of the names in the pack. Am I right?
100%. It was actually a really good opportunity. I don't get one of the biggest problems I've got now is things have normally actually gone too well for me. So racing is actually you join this, you get into it because you want to drive the cars and you love the story and you really want to build your own sort of story and career as a race car driver. I just don't get that opportunity anymore. The thing I most appreciated tonight was I was actually sitting there and laughing with Gary Buckland after lap 1 of the first race, and I said to him, "Did you see how many times I showed you my nose there? I was never ever going to send it, but I showed the nose a few times." I just no confidence on the brakes, mate. Absolutely
no plastic surgeons nearby, but yeah.
No confidence in the brakes. So one of the biggest issues was I was quicker than Peter Latham in the second race as well. Same with Gary Buckland in the first race. The tyres sort of came and went, and I just didn't have the consistency that I needed on the brake to get the job done. So it was just more of a sit, watch, show, and just be patient and wait for the opportunity to open itself up. But that was a really, really big challenge, and hats off to my left front tyres because they did a lot of screaming tonight.
Let's talk a little bit about iRacing broadly. For anyone who's just getting into it themselves, driving the supercars, really, it's the pinnacle of driver control of a vehicle. You talk about the confidence in the brakes being important. I think that understates it even, really. Like, as you start to move up through your MX-5s and your Toyota 86s, where a lot of drivers cut their teeth, it's a whole different world when you start to get into even the GT3s, but the supercars just take it to a whole other level, don't they?
The braking package, I've actually, so for those of you at home who don't really know, the oval stuff is really my bread and butter. That's my biggest sort of thing. It's sort of it's not what I grew up on, but when I first saw iRacing, all I saw was oval racing. It's sort of where I spent a lot of my time getting used to the simulator and cutting my teeth. And then I did a lot of Toyota 86 racing when that car came out, do a lot of Formula Ford racing. So I'm not in bigger cars quite as often, just because that's where I prefer to be racing. The NASCAR next gen cars was actually oval teammates of mine were saying we really need some data packs to work with, some sort of goals and that. So I've actually been turning a lot of laps in the next gen cup car at the moment on road courses, and holy cow, those brakes suck. Oh my god. Oh. And everyone complains about the supercar brakes. Do not complain about the supercar brakes.
They're not so bad after all. Eh?
No. So I've been doing a lot of driving in things that just don't want to stop. So yeah, it's a completely different skill. There is nothing like it. And I probably drove this car for about 3 hours this afternoon before the race because I needed that amount of time behind the wheel to actually feel comfortable. And I kept asking and I kept adjusting. Every lap I was learning something, even to the tail end of the race. If you'd have given me a fresh set of tyres at the end of the race, I guarantee you would have set my fastest lap right at the back end of that race. But it's constant learning, constant evolution, constant what do you do, and thinking about what you're doing, going out and doing long runs and going, okay, the car trended this way. Do I make an adjustment as a driver, or do I make an adjustment to the brake bias? Do I make an adjustment to the braking point? Do I make an adjustment to my shift points, to what gear I'm carrying? So the biggest thing was I went into tonight going, I'm just learning. I'm learning constantly. I've just got to be a big old sponge because I'm, there's nothing. There's nothing to sort of ground and base myself on. I know what racing lines look like, and they look different in this car.
Yeah, look, it's fascinating to get this time to chat to you about it. And I tell you what, we're gonna have to be mindful of time because otherwise I'll turn this into a podcast with you if you give me half a chance. Just the difference in mentality for a seasoned racing driver like yourself compared to, look, I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm very much an amateur when it comes to getting behind the wheel of these cars or any in the real world for that matter. Just to hear the way you talk about, adjusting those fine points around the track. What's your advice to someone who's just trying to get their head in the right space? What's the best investment of time, I suppose, for someone early in their iRacing career to get the best out of it as quickly as possible?
Straight away is give yourself a good baseline to work from. The benefit of ASR and V8 veterans is fixed setups. I'm not a setup guru. I could not tell you what to do with a bar. The only thing I actually know what to tinker with is NASCAR steering ratios and brake bias. So the only two things I feel confident in telling you what to do with. So all I'm looking for is just cues. I'm listening for tire lockups. I'm looking to try and build markers when I'm setting myself up for the track. Looking at what other people. The biggest thing you straight and simply you can do is watch what other people are doing and talk to them and ask them about it. I cannot say those results tonight are a big thank you to Matt Vanderkraan and to a bunch of the guys from Drop Bear as well. I was hanging out with them and socializing and just having some fun earlier on tonight, and they were giving me some tips and bits and pieces. But it's surround yourself with other people that you can learn from. I hate being the fastest person on any team, because it means that I've outgrown the team for me. So I love being slower, because then you can go, all right, have you got 5 minutes? Let's have a look at what your lines are. Let's have a look at what your braking markers are. Let's have a look at what you're doing. What are you doing with the car? Are you changing the setup? Are you changing the balance? Are you changing how you're driving a little bit because of anything? And talk to people, because one of my biggest strengths is strategy, but it's not necessarily pace. So I'm happy to sit down and talk to people about strategy and those windows and what switches things on and what switches things off and where you can try and end up. But it's just talk, be a sponge. And the biggest thing I would say to people, this is just my mentality to life, is don't be afraid to be wrong. I love being wrong. I love talking to people and being prove me wrong. Oh man, great night. I am the first guy to stick my hand up and go, I'm in the wrong here, because it means I learned something. So I love being wrong.
Awesome stuff. Scott Rankin, before we let you go, my last question, and maybe you can't give it away just yet, but do you reckon we'll see you back some other time this season? Are we going to see you out on track again with Alliance Sim Racing?
At some point. When and where that is and what it looks like, I have no clue. Because, to be perfectly honest, I am not regularly racing at the moment.
Life gets in the way, doesn't it?
I'm too successful. I've been too successful for it. So,
it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have.
Well, it cost me my marriage, to be honest with you. So, it's a good problem and it's a bad problem to have at the same time. But that's life. You learn from it.
Yeah,
and
fair call.
As a person. So, I've made mistakes. It's cost me the important people in my life, and I own that, and I'll move forward and be a better person as a result.
That took a turn into something much deeper than I was expecting to get into with tonight, Scott. But mate, it's been great chatting to you. Thank you for spending the time, not just on track, but with us tonight in the commentary booth. And look forward to seeing you back with us sometime soon. And I just might end up with that podcast, I reckon, because I'd love to pick your brain at some point. You never know. But we're going to try and finish up before the server shuts itself down and we lose any sort of visuals for people. So Scott Rankin, P4 in race 2. Well done, mate. And look forward to chatting to you again sometime soon.
Congratulations, boys. But Biggles has got to show me. He said he had a flush. So, well, mate, I've got my chips in the middle. Where's your flush? Here's my pair.
What's your ante, my friend? What have you put in the table?
Several beers and a good night.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll talk about that in the future, my friend.
Scotty Rankin, thanks for dropping in. We'll let him get on with the evening. Biggles, another fantastic night of racing. You can't get enough of this stuff, can you?
Well, you could.
You could, but I want to race 3. Honestly, just another outstanding night of racing right across the field. Alliance Sim Racing turning on again here for round 6. We need to look ahead. Round 7 is a week away, and it'll be here in no time. Really, it's going to be honest before we realise. So, I guess the thing to watch now is how the points stack up after tonight. Matt Vanderkraan, though, I tell you what, he's going to be tough to beat if he keeps this up, isn't he?
Yes, and where are we heading off to next week?
Next week we are heading to Aragon, so that'll be something else entirely once again from this evening's race. So let's see what the drivers bring. I think we're going to have to call it there, though, my friend. Thank you as always for joining me in the booth, and a massive thank you, of course, to all of the series sponsors and to Alliance Sim Racing for putting on a fantastic event. On behalf of Dean Biggles Hopton, my name is Jared Cole from Simple Racing Broadcast. We wish you a very, very good evening. Do look after each other, stay safe out there, and we will see you again next week for more Alliance Sim Racing V8 Supercars action. Take care. Goodbye for now.